forget about how we ran around? I don't know why you don't take me downtown anymore. Sitting in the corner, they wanna stroll on a city sidewalk. I got a dress that'll show a little but you ain't getting if you don't come pick me up, show me off. You might be tired, but I'm not, and I don't know why you don't take me downtown like you got anywhere better to be. Talk it up and give me the go round round like a good time tease. I'm only counting on your cancellation when I should be counting on you at my door. Did you forget about how we ran around? I don't know why you don't take me downtown anymore. Counting on your cancellation when I should be counting on you at my door. Did you forget about how we ran around? I don't know why you don't take me downtown anymore. Yeah, don't know why you don't take me downtown. I don't know why you don't take me downtown anymore.
Check, check.
Yeah, I'm chilling on a dirt road, laid back swerving like I'm George Jones. Smoke rolling out the window and ice cold beer sitting in the console. Memory lane up in the headlights has got me reminiscing on them good times. I'm turning off a real life driving, that's right, I'm hitting easy street on mud tires. Back in the day, Potts Farm
Check
was
1
supposed to
2
go.
1 2 3 4 check. Check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8.
Jack and Jim were a few good men where you learn how to kiss and cuss and fight too. Better watch out for the boys in blue and all this small town he said, she said. Ain't it funny how rumors spread like I know something y'all don't know? Man, that talk is getting old. You better mind your business, man. Watch your mouth before I have to knock that loud mouth out. I'm tired of talking, man. Y'all ain't listening. Them old dirt roads is what y'all miss. I'm chilling on a dirt road, laid back swerving like I'm George Jones. Smoke rolling out the window and ice cold beer sitting in the console. Memory lane up in the headlights has got me reminiscing on them good times. I'm turning off a real life driving, that's right, I'm hitting easy street on mud tires. I sit back and think about them good old days, the way we were raising our southern ways, and we like cornbread and biscuits, and if it's broke around here, we fix it. I can take y'all where you need to go, down to my hood, back in them woods. We do it different round here, that's right, but we sure do it good, and we do it all night. So if you really want to know how it feels to get off the road, trucks and four wheels, jump on in, and man, tell your friends, we'll raise some hell with a blacktop in. I'm chilling on a dirt road, laid back swerving like I'm George Jones. Smoke rolling out the window and ice cold beer sitting in the console. Memory lane up in the headlights has got me reminiscing on them good times. I'm turning off a real life driving, that's right, I'm hitting easy street on mud tires. That's right. looking out the window, and ice cold beer sitting in the console. Memory lane up in the headlights, it's got me reminiscing on them good times. I'm turning off a real life driving, that's right, I'm hitting easy street on mud tires. That's right. Baby, you a song, you make me wanna roll my windows down and cruise. This one goes out to the man who minds for miracles. This one goes out to the ones in need. This one goes out to the sinner and the cynical. This ain't about no apology. This road was paid by the hopeless and the hungry. This road was paid by the winds of change. Walk aside the guilty and the innocent. How will you raise your hand when they call your name?
All right. Welcome, everybody, to New England College. I know you just are dying to hear from our guest of honor today, but before we get there, I would like to introduce the president of New England College, Dr. Michelle Perkins.
Thank you, Morgan, and welcome, everyone. Welcome, Governor Christie. It's an honor to have you here. I just want to say, once again, we're excited to see so many New Hampshire voters here, and we're very excited to see so many New England College students here. It's such an exciting week for us as we roll up to the New Hampshire First in the Nation primaries.
At all of our town halls, we love to have our students engaged. Civic engagement is one of the commitments of the school. Is our respect for our learning and hands-on practice.
Cranford Law Firm. Christie was named U.S. Attorney for the District of New Jersey in 2002. As a chief federal law enforcement officer in New Jersey, he drew national attention for his efforts in battling political corruption, corporate crime, human trafficking, gangs, terrorism, and environmental polluters. Chris Christie was sworn in as governor of New Jersey in 2010 and re-elected to a second term on November 5th, 2013. Today, Governor Christie is running for president and has led over 50 town hall meetings in New Hampshire and was recently endorsed by the union leader here in New Hampshire. On behalf of the Center for Civic Engagement, please join me in welcoming Governor Chris Christie to New England College. Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate it. Can I give you a hat from the school? Thanks a lot.
All right, got my hat. Well, thank you very much. Thanks for the introduction. To the president of New England College, thank you for hosting us today, and all of you for your warm welcome. I appreciate it very much. We're happy to be here, happy to hold our second town hall meeting of the day today, and we're ready to continue to work really hard as we get closer to Tuesday, and Election Day. Here's the good news for all of you in New Hampshire. On Tuesday, we will be out of your hair. We will be off your TV sets. We will be out of your mailboxes, out of your diners and your restaurants. We will be away from you, at least until August or so, when we come back, as New Hampshire will be a swing state in the general election. and one that, as a Republican nominee, I intend to win on my way to defeating Hillary Clinton for the presidency of the United States. So I'm not going to give you a big speech off the top. I'm going to just say a couple of things really briefly, and then we'll get to your questions, which is the part that I like the most, your questions today as we can. You know, it's really Election Day gets a little closer, because Election Day is choosing day. Now, I know New Hampshire voters, they love to shop. You guys and elect someone who has actually accomplished things. The kings of talk, where you run away from the heat. And that's in you. It's either in you or it's not. Every chance I've had, I've run towards the heat. It's how I'm built. It's what I like to do. And I don't like doing all that sweating. But maybe all that sweating from running into the heat, you accomplish something. You rebuild a state after 360 destroyed by the second worst natural disaster union to reform teacher tenure, to make sure that teachers are judged on quality, not just the number of years they serve. You balance 6 budgets in a row and veto more tax increases than any governor in American history. And you deal with the issues that come up every day that I can't even begin to list for you. That's what happens when you run into the heat. And by the way, being governor of New Jersey is going to look like the good old days. Become president of the United States. Because the heat that you feel there is probably the most intense heat that you can feel anywhere in the world. I've run to the heat. Senator Rubio's run away from the heat. I've accomplished things. Senator Rubio's own supporter came. And then the fact is, in damage Venezuelan something act that he passed or something, which I'm sure, again, is something that has kept you and I awake at night for a very long time, and thank God he solved that problem in a unanimous vote by the House and the Senate. Unanimous vote by the House and the Senate, not just unanimous among Republicans, among Democrats. It must have been a contentious matter, right? When you got Bernie Sanders and Jeff Sessions both voting yes, you gotta believe this is something that really divided the nation and the world. It's choosing time. And here's the last part of choosing time for all the Republicans in this room. You wanna lose the 3rd election in a row? I gotta tell you, I don't. But did you watch that Democratic town hall last night? I watched some of it. She's ready, everybody. You can say everything you want about Hillary Clinton. She is ready. And she wants public housing back in the worst way. She wants back in the White House. Gets funnier the more you think about it, doesn't it? Who are you going to put on that stage to 53-year-old former federal prosecutor and governor of one of the toughest states in America? Or do you want to put a 44-year-old first-term United States senator who hasn't accomplished a thing and hasn't had a tough race in his life and has spent most of his life in a red state with other Republicans? I don't know. A lot of people. Some people who are in this room urged me to run for president. And 4 years ago, I said no. You know why I said no? Because I wasn't ready. In my heart, I knew I wasn't ready to be president. You don't just run for president because you see a political opportunity. You run for president if you know in your business, run in the United States. Because then You could be like the dog that catches the garbage truck. And when you catch it, you have no idea what to do with it. Once you catch no idea what I'm going to say. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. When the door opens and your chief of staff walks in, you never know what's going to come out of their mouth either. What the problem's going to be, what the crisis is going to be, what the issue is going to be. You don't get to prep for that. You don't get somebody to prepare the answers for you. You got to be ready. So you're going to test me now. Let's see how ready I am. A lot of smart people in this room. And then there's me. We'll see how I do. So one rule for New Hampshire town hall meetings, just one. You raise your hand, I call on you, get to ask whatever you want. Now, in New Jersey, I have 4 rules for town hall meetings. That will tell you everything you need to know about the difference between New Jersey and New Hampshire. But just one rule, you raise your hand, I call on you. I'm going to start with this lady right here, and someone will bring you a microphone so everyone can hear you.
You say that Obamacare has failed, but a lot of people think that it failed, quote unquote, on purpose, and that they wanted it to fail just so they could go to single payer. Do you believe that?
A cynic from New Jersey. And I want to, I'm the only person from New Jersey here. There are some other people from New Jersey here. Press people from New Jersey here, which the only people in New Jersey more cynical than politicians are the press who did it on purpose. I really don't. I think he genuinely. Well, listen, there's lots of things people in public life want. Your question was, did it fail on purpose? Did he set it up? Of course they want single payer, but he said, if you like your doctor, you can keep him. You can reach out to your state government, to your state reps, your state senators, your governor, and have an impact. If that's down at HHS in Washington, you're lucky to get a form letter back in 6 months. So that's the way I would deal with it. And you're right that you are just one example of literally millions of Americans who have been damaged by Obamacare. And so it's not working, it hasn't worked, and what we need to make sure of is that we put a system in that when mistakes are made, and it's government, so inevitably they will be, that it's close enough to you that you can have a way to fix it. So that's the way I would deal with it. That gentleman right there. Yep, yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Gene Moore from Hillsborough.
Hey, they got a mic there for you right next to you.
Oh, thanks. I'm Gene Moore from Hillsborough. Regarding wasteful government programs, can you tell me 3 more or less, as specific as you can, ways in which you would try to eliminate wasteful government programs? And of course, I've got zillions of them in my head. That,
well, I just may hire you, Gene. Be careful. I'll tell you 3 different ways to do that. The first way is when I name my cabinet as president, one of the things I'm going to say to every cabinet secretary is, in your first year, you must return 1 penny in waste to me for every dollar I send you. 1 penny in waste for every dollar I send you. Now, I want to do that for 2 reasons. One, it's an achievable goal. 1 penny for every dollar is an achievable goal. Secondly, it gets them thinking in that mindset, but not overwhelmed by the prospect. Right? If I say you got to give me 10 cents for every dollar, maybe they reach it, maybe they don't in their first year. The first month or 2, they're trying to find the men's room or ladies' room. They're trying to figure everything out. You give them 10 cents, they might be overwhelmed. If they get overwhelmed by the task, as a manager, I've learned, if they don't have some early success, it's much more difficult to keep them going. Secondly, part of it's my job. I'll tell you what I did in New Jersey. We had an $11 billion deficit on a $29 billion budget when I came into office. And one of the things I had to do was sit down and cut programs. We weren't going to meet payroll by the second pay period in March. I got sworn in January 19th. So for 6 weeks, I met 3 times a week with the state treasurer in his conference room and some staff, and they literally went over every line of the budget line by line with me. And what they would do is they would say, okay, here's the program. They'd give me a description of it. They'd tell me how much the program spent, and they'd look at me and say yes or no. And 800 times I said no. We cut 800 programs from the state of New Jersey's budget. Sure, some of them were good. It wasn't all waste. Some of them were good, but we couldn't afford them. We couldn't afford them. Remember, my state had had taxes and fees increased on them 115 times in the 8 years before I became governor at the state level. So this wasn't like a group of people that had like a vacation from tax increases. They had nothing but tax increases. And why did we need all those and still have a deficit? 2 reasons. One, spending went up 56% in the 8 years before I became governor. So it was averaging 7% increase a year. And secondly, we had an economic recession on top of it too. So revenues went down as well. So those 2 reasons, you not only could cut, you just couldn't get away with cutting the wasteful programs, you had to cut some good ones too. And believe me, the good ones and the wasteful ones all had a constituency. All of them. Like, I'd come to you, you say to me, cut the waste. I'm like, absolutely. I say to you, Gene, I'm gonna cut this program. And you go, oh, Governor, wait a second. I like that program. That program I kind of like. The other 799 just fine, but you keep that one, okay? And every person I'd go to would have the one they wanted to keep. And I got the emails and the cards and the letters and the phone calls and the protests on the steps of the State House when we did it. But when you're a leader at that point, you just got to put the blinders on and keep going because you got a big hole to fill. And America has an even bigger hole to fill.
How do you push back against the constituency? How do you do that? As president, it's legendary.
It is, but as governor in New Jersey, in a state that likes to spend, it's pretty legendary too. And what you do is you just have to have the strength of your convictions. And and explain yourself as best you can, and then govern like a one-termer. That's what you have to do. You have to govern like a one-termer, because you know what? If you do all this stuff and they decide to kick you out, they kick you out. But you can't worry about it, because the problem is too big, and the problem in America is too big. So those are the ways I would go after it. And later on, when I go to the... And Gene, later on, I'll give you the third way I do it, but I'm waiting to take the question from the Take a Stand people from AARP. See, they come to every one of my town hall meetings, and they wear their vests and their hats and everything else. And so for me, it's like an open book test. Like I know what they're gonna ask, and that'll be phase 3, because I know you asked me for 3, I'll give you the third one, but if I give the third one now, then they don't get to ask their question, and I don't wanna do that to them, because they like to ask their question. And they travel to all the things, so we gotta let them do it. All right, see the young lady back there. Oh, you can stand up and they can see which one I'm pointing to. There we go.
Governor Christie, I want to thank you for being here, first off.
Thank you.
I've noticed you received the No Labels Problem Solver seal, which I personally find very important. If you become president, how committed are you to stopping the hyper-partisan divide in our country?
Really committed to it, because if we don't stop it, we can't succeed. We just can't succeed. We've seen it over the last, really probably over the last 12 years. Because the last 4 years of the Bush presidency was pretty hyper-partisan as well. We got a break from some of that. You remember it was really hyper-partisan before he got in. A bit of a close election that had to be decided by the Supreme Court. And then we got a bit of a break after September 11th, and people put some of the partisanship down for a while. We got some things done. But then the re-election campaign started, and the partisanship really never ended after that. And it's really been in effect for all 8 years of Barack Obama. So we got to try to stop it. We absolutely have to try to stop it. And I've had experience of doing this in New Jersey. Now, that's not to say that we don't yell and scream at each other in New Jersey. We do. I've participated in that. But we've also gotten a lot of things done. And I've had an all-Democratic legislature, majorities in both houses, Democrat. Yet we capped property taxes. We passed teacher tenure reform. We passed pension and benefit reform. We passed reform of the way we do arbitration for public employees. We passed 6 budgets, 4 of which were negotiated. 4 out of the 6 we actually negotiated and came to an agreement on. 2 of them I had to use the line item veto. But 4 of the 6 we actually negotiated. We were able to negotiate for an increase in the earned income tax credit. We were actually able to negotiate for cuts in business taxes of $2.3 billion. So we did a lot of things together. How did that happen? I developed relationships with Democrats. And when you're the governor or the president, you're the one who has to do it. You cannot wait for them to do it. You have to do it. And, you know, to me, that's the obligation of the president alone. If you're waiting for Congress to do it, they won't. There's 535 of them. There's no clear leaders. The president has to be the one to bring people together. So I'm completely committed to it, which is why I've been involved with the No Labels people from the beginning. Not because I don't have a label, I do. I'm a Republican, I'm proud of my label. But once you govern, once you're elected, you gotta work for all the people, not just the ones who voted for you. And sometimes you have to work harder for the ones who didn't, right? Because they're the most skeptical of all of them. So I'm very committed to doing it, and it will be, the basis of it will be building personal relationships with Republicans and Democrats in Congress. If you don't do that, trust you. Twice in the past 3 weeks, Democrats in my state each side like a marriage counselor, talking to the Democrats in the Senate, trying to bring them together, and then I get home and I bring them together. Same thing, Atlantic City. And we need the tiebreaker. Governor's the mayor. Hey, I'm back there.
Learning experience with the culture of recovery. We are well prepared to lead this nation with the issues and the struggle. Addiction.
Yeah. Is a story that I've told a number of times, and I'll school. I'm a recovering lawyer. Thank you. Which is my personal experience with recovery. And for anybody, they had nice cars, they had money to go on vacation. He was a great trial lawyer. And I'll tell you that, he was the best looking of all of us, defying age and everything else. And during one of those runs one day, desk job.